good afternoon, and good evening. It's your girl ChucTayyy, and I am here with your RETV Sports update. Had to take a break last week, guys, because who didn't need to take a break last week? I mean, election, people voting, polls closed on Tuesday, and then we didn't find out who the president was until Saturday. Even if I wanted to come on here last week, which I knew I was not, because I knew that I was going to be stressed with this election, I didn't watch sports at all last week. I didn't even know sports existed last week, so I would have came on here talking about God knows what, because anyway, and real quick, because I'm not the news, and I hope you watch the RETV news this week, Kamala Harris, the first woman, not just black woman, but a woman vice president. It's just so amazing to say. And a graduate of an HBCU. So I don't want to be the president or the vice president. That's too much pressure. But shout outs to her. Shout outs to y'all going blue, making sure you voted, you listened, and I love it. Let's get to it, guys. So honestly, it's like not a lot going on in the world, but let's talk about the things that I care the most about. One, I almost changed my shirt for this, but I'm just gonna let this rock. It's the correct colors. The Pittsburgh Steelers are 8-0, the only undefeated team left in the NFL. That includes the Kansas City Chiefs, who everybody thinks is gonna win the Super Bowl again this year. Might be the case. Too early to tell at this point. But 8-0. What a time to be alive. We have a black woman, vice president-elect, United States went blue. Steelers are 8-0. What a time to be alive. Now, they make me drink, guys. I'm not going to lie. It's watching the Steelers stresses me out. I'm sure all Steelers fans are stressed. It's fine, guys. We're here. We got this. 8-0. Boy, let me tell you something. I don't know the last time I saw this. I don't know that I've ever seen this in my life. I don't feel like you guys are talking about this enough, though. You know, there's a lot of things going on in the NFL, namely and mainly. Namely? Is that what people say? Okay. Well, mostly. We're talking about COVID. And I tried to not talk about COVID that much this week, guys. But there are actually 4 Steeler players, including Big Ben, on the COVID reserve list. Walking into this week, they're a little unsure if they're going to play. Not 100% sure we need them quite yet. I mean, they're taking on the Bengals. Okay. So I really tried not to talk about COVID, but COVID is still rampant. So there's a lot of things going on in the NFL. COVID, of course, you have Tom Brady down in Tampa Bay. You have Cam at the Patriots. And things are happening. Games getting postponed, pushed back, canceled. Just all of the things happening. But we're just not talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers enough for me. So, you know, what it seems like is that everybody's like, oh, well, they haven't played anybody except the Ravens, and won. Okay. I mean, that's a big deal. You know, that's a big game. If you know anything about the Pittsburgh Steelers, you know that the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers game, that is a huge game. Huge, bigly. I cracked myself up. So, beat the Ravens, beat the Cowboys, even though, I mean, who cares? I'm sorry if you're a Cowboys fan, but who cares? I mean, they're going back to see the Ravens in a couple of weeks in week 11. And then after that, I mean, we're looking at the Buffalo Bills in week 13, if I'm not mistaken. And those are the only 2 games as of right now that are not looking like quite the cakewalk for the rest of the season. Now, if Ben goes down with COVID, we'll have to see, you know, but I have faith in those guys. That's the most biased thing I'm probably going to say. Nah, that's probably not true, but we need to be talking about this more, guys. Watch the Steelers play. Just don't sleep on them. Everybody's looking at Kansas City. Everybody's looking at Tampa Bay and the Pats, like I said. Of course, looking at the Rams. Russell Wilson and the Seahawks, but it's you guys are not talking about the black and the gold enough for me. So let's get it together, guys. Ain't no. Anyway, continuing on with football. Like I said, the Steelers are monitoring 4 players, including Big Ben, because they were in close proximity to another player whose name is escaping me at this precise moment, who has tested positive for COVID. So that could show some shifts in their offense and their defense, depending on what happens. But it is only Thursday as you guys are watching this. So that is a developing story, and we will see what happens on Friday. Or I'm sorry, on Sunday. Nothing happens on Friday. Anyway, also, the ESPN has predicted a few of their mid-season awards, if you will. So at most valuable player, their top 3 choices are Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, and Russell Wilson. I'm going with Patrick Mahomes. Okay. Offensive player of the year, Dalvin Cook, Alvin Kamara, and DK Metcalf. I'm probably going to go with Dalvin Cook on that one. Offensive rookie of the year, Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, and Justin Jefferson. I actually going with Justin Jefferson on that one. And defensive player of the year, Myles Garrett, Aaron Donald, and Marlon Humphrey. And I'm going with Aaron Donald just because we graduated from the same high school. So, okay. So I said another biased thing. It's my show. So, I mean, football is, like, first of all, it's November. How? It's November, guys. So we are walking into week 9 of the NFL. And like we said 2 weeks ago now, Super Bowl is still scheduled for its regular time, the date that it was already set for prior to COVID becoming a thing and still being a thing. So time is flying, and we're going to look up, and it's going to be Christmas. Like, I mean, Thanksgiving's like 2 weeks away or something like that. So these teams got to get on it. The Bills are actually playing pretty decent football. I'm not going to lie. Of course, the Seahawks, Tampa Bay, it's like I guess the usual suspects. Russell Wilson is balling, so you definitely need to keep an eye out for that. And then, like, Green Bay destroyed last week. Kind of flipping through on my phone. Here comes ESPN. The score's like 34-3, like past the sticks. So there is some good football being played outside of Pittsburgh, or wherever Pittsburgh is. So it's going to be an interesting rest of the season to see where we get to, or what's happening once we get to playoff time. So again, developing stories. We're a little more than halfway through the season at this point. So let's just keep our eyes out. Now, NBA. So guys, free agency is about to kick everybody's butts. So it was decided earlier this week that free agency was going to open at 6 p.m. on November the 20th, which is just 2 days after the draft. And holy cheese balls, I don't know why I said that, but holy cannoli, I'm a little bit hungry. Free agency, first of all, the Lakers, it's like the whole team. It's 17 players going into free agency between 2020 and 2021. 10 players in 2020 alone. Like, what? That's like, how many people are on that team? 17? Dude, what? Okay, so the 2 biggest free agents, I mean, because all teams have them, right? I kind of scrolled through the list. Every team except for the Warriors has at least 4 players in 2020 entering free agency, whether they are restricted or unrestricted. At least 4 players. The Warriors do not have any in 2020, but have a few in 2021. But the 2 biggest names walking into free agency, the unibrow himself, aka Anthony Davis. I know I said it the correct way. And then the Greek freak himself. We're just gonna call him Giannis because in the however many years he's been in the league, I've still never bothered to learn how to pronounce his last name correctly. And then Caldwell Pope actually is starting to rise up on that list. And I'm okay with that. I'm cool with that. So do I think that the Lakers are going to lose? No, let me say it like this. The Lakers will not lose Anthony Davis and LeBron James. Everybody else, I'm not quite sure. Like, will they fight? Will they do what their due diligence, I suppose? Sure. But those are the two. Like, we have to do what we need to do to keep those two. And so AD goes 2020 and Bron goes 2021. We got to do what we got to do to keep them. We just want to chip. You know what I'm saying? We got to get it together. So they're definitely not going to lose them. I think they will fight for Caldwell Pope. There's a few people on that list without having the list directly in front of me that I'm sure will stick around. They'll figure out how to move some cap space or what have you to get it together. But this was always my fear, I suppose, for the Lakers, that they did all of this moving, all of this bringing it in, doing all of the things, and we weren't talking about long-term contracts at the beginning. So you have this chip, and now you have 17 players that might be like, but I got a chip, and now I can go, and it's like not that big of a deal. So that was always, because at the end of the day, then that becomes a chemistry thing. And you have players coming and going, and like, oh, like AD could very well be like, okay, well, I came here to get my chip, got my chip, I'm out. Deuce, Big Bruce. And what y'all gonna say about it? I mean, y'all gonna talk about him, y'all gonna burn a jersey? Was he there long enough to have jerseys? I mean, I know he was, but you get my point. So, we know Bron is not gonna leave. Yeah, that's not happening. I don't really think that AD is going to leave, but you just never know. You really don't know. I guess I can't even really say I don't think Bron's gonna leave. I mean, I don't, but stranger things have happened. Like, remember, we didn't think he was gonna leave Cleveland the first time. Then we didn't think he was gonna leave Miami. And then he went back to Cleveland, and we didn't think he was gonna leave there. So, okay, stranger things have happened. So we'll see. 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on 11/20. It begins, and if your ESPN alerts are on, you might want to put them on silent, because when free agency goes, it's ding, ding, ding. It's like not quite Black Friday, but we call it Gray Friday. Is that a thing? Let's make that a thing, guys. Gray Friday for free agency. Also, the NBA Board of Governors has unanimously, that's a fun word to say, decided that the NBA season will kick off on December the 22nd with a 72-game schedule. Still a lot of games. Just in time for Christmas, because what is Christmas Day without basketball? I don't know. They have not quite divulged if they are going to keep All-Star Weekend like in that February-ish range. They have not officially said we're going back into the bubble. Those things, at least at this particular point, have not been made clear or shared with the public. So that is going to be something that is very interesting, because the Knicks actually have a couple positive coronavirus tests that came out this week. So guys, this is not over. January the 20th cannot come quick enough for me. Also, the CDC came out today and said you might want to start wearing masks with several layers. So, first of all, that means y'all not staying in the house like y'all are supposed to. Second of all, that means that this thing is not even close to being gone. So, wash your hands, wear your mask, stay in the house. If you absolutely need to go out, layer it up, wear the mask. Anyway, guys, that is actually all I have for this week. Surprisingly, this is still a 15-minute video, but hey, who am I? What do I want you guys to do this week? I want you to wear your mask and wash your hands and stay in the house unless you absolutely need to go out. I also want you to make sure that you watch the Steeler game. No, seriously, watch the Steeler game. And I will see you guys next week. I am your girl, ChucTayyy. You can catch me here every every Thursday, talking junk and whatever my catchphrase is. See you next week.